Hey, just hanging out. You're scared of getting older, everyone is, and I wouldn't want to leave you hanging with those thoughts like someone's left me hanging here. So this episode is going to get very deep despite the tomfoolery. By the way, if you're new and you're scared of what's happening here, this is normal here. In fact, this is the more normal thing. One of the more normal things is the last episode I was sat in the toilet with a wetsuit and goggles on getting deep. Because life is that deep. Welcome. As usual, I'm going to just quickly start with a piece of slam poetry that I've put together about today's topic so you can get an insight into what this episode is going to entail. This is just what we do here. So yeah, and then we'll get into some, because like I said, I know I'm being silly and goofy, but this is some serious shit right here because this is a big fear of a lot of ours. We are all getting old. Forgive me for being so bold, and I know you don't like to be told, but you can't stop getting old. If aging is something we cannot prevent, then why is it something we all resent? And caught up desperately trying to prevent, we tend to miss the present. Saying, oh, I'm too old for that event. And I know they always tell us to age with grace and embrace the wrinkles on our face. But more important than that, let's stop the race and live life at our own unique pace. We are all going to end up in the same place. Dead. You heard what I said. Your fear of aging is aging you more than your age, and you're rushing this stage. So allow me to change your mindset around getting old, and then you'll forgive me for being this bold. Are you sold? Have you got a cold? You know, I'm just a bit of a rhyming whimsical. I like to start with a bit of slam poetry. Let me just scroll down. I've just realised, guys, I'm genuinely hooked. I'm hooked onto the thing right now. So I want to go to the laptop to get my next page. My laptop's there, but I'm attached to the coat hanger right now. People who are listening on the audio, because obviously this is a podcast, so this is audio, you're not going to really get what I'm talking about right now.
You are now tuned into the Sarah Elizabeth Show.
Allow me to be your Edgar Allan Poe.
Life's a bitch, and so am I.
This show's a bit like getting high.
Let me be your anchor when your mind's a little flimsy. So without further ado, welcome to the whimsy. That'll do it.
Welcome to my podcast, The Sarah Elizabeth Show, the best one-woman show on the block. And this is for the wacky and whimsical women of all ages and wages and stages of life. I want to say, guys, I've had a really lovely little influx of new listeners. And I want to say I love you all. And a lot of people were commenting, oh my God, I'm so shocked that I haven't found you before. Why have I only just found you? The dedication to do this with these Michael Jackson gloves, by the way. Oh my God. And a lot of people are like, I'm so angry that I haven't found you before. And I'm like, no. You find me. I'm like Torture Poets Department, right? If you know, you know. I'm not going to go into what that means to me right now. But you find me when you need me the most. So don't have regrets that you haven't found me sooner. You found me at the stage of your life that you need me the most. Believe it. Welcome. I love all of you so much. You're all the best. Today's episode is going to be about aging and getting old and the fear of getting old that we all possess. Because I've got people who I know who are 19 years of age who go, but I'm getting old. It's a fear that grips us all at all ages. And I know it is annoying when you hear young people hooting and hollering about it. It annoys me when I hear 21-year-olds being like, I'm getting older now. Shut your bitch ass up. Shut it. But it is something that we're all scared of, yet it's happening to us all. And on this podcast, I have a rule. I've spoken about it before on multiple episodes. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed every time because, like I said, this is going to be the place that you want to be. I'm trusting you right now. On this podcast, I have a rule. If you don't like something about yourself, okay, have a little think, have a little whimsy think about why you don't like it. Make sure you know the reason. Make sure you're not doing it for other reasons. Make sure you're not influenced by other people's opinions if you don't like something about yourself. But then you've got to be like, right, okay, if I'm doing it for the right reasons and my heart's in the right place, can I change it? And if you can change it, then again, just pray, take your time, or whatever you want to do about what to do to change it. If you can't change it, you don't have an option but to love and embrace it. And guess what? You can't change your age. You can't change the fact that you're getting older. So this is something that we're going to love. So today's going to be about shifting the mindset around that. But just before I get into that, of course, I've got some Dear Sarahs, which I always do on the pod, which is where you guys have submitted dilemmas. Also, by the way, if you could do me a little solid right now, and smash the like and the hype button on YouTube. This is just a new little whimsical thing that has been added. It's completely free, but what it does is it just boosts me vid and it just would mean a lot. Love you. Thanks for doing that. Thanks in advance. Help! I've fallen off the hanger. Help me! I want to be on the hanger, y'all. You got me hanging on a string now. Does anyone remember that song? It's a bit of a throwback. I'm not your plaything. What the fuck? I've just put myself back. Oh my God, stop. I have just hung myself back on a coat hanger with no one else here, and some guys still have trouble unclasping a bra. We must advance as a society. Yes, so I'm going to read the Dear Sarah's now. Okay. All these Dear Sarah's, obviously you guys can submit as well. These have been submitted on the Patreon. Dear Sarah, I've got crippling anxiety related to evil eye. I picked this out because I spoke to I touched on evil eye in a previous episode and I want to touch on it again. But I've got crippling anxiety related to evil eye. I know you said about this on another episode. Okay. And you don't believe in it, but I'm always thinking people are going to ruin every good thing I've got. I will touch on that for the newbies. I do not believe in evil eye, okay? Evil eye is not a thing to me. I do not believe for a second that some little negative self-loathing can have that much power over my life. Do not make me whip out the scripture. I don't even know what scripture it is. I think Romans 6:7 or something. I don't know. I'll have to check it. No weapon formed against me will prosper. Put that in your pipe and smoke at. No weapon formed. So I don't believe for a second that someone because for evil eye, I think for evil eye to work in the capacity that a lot of people are fearful that it will, it means that some little negative cretin is sat there with Harry Potter powers that can affect your life. No chance. I rebuke it. Reduce, rebuke, recycle. You don't have that power, pussy. I do think that you should get, I think that you should be wise. I do think about what you share. I don't think you should prematurely share stuff. I think you should still be wise. Don't get it twisted. I do think people can obviously ruin things that they do know about. I don't think that's a thing. But I just think, this fear mindset that there's some evil people doing things with their eyes. Bitch, I'll gouge them out. No, you're not. I think that is a fear-mongering mindset. That's why I wanted to address this. Like, I feel like living in fear of, like, evil eye, that's a fear mindset, bitch. And I don't accept any fear mindsets on here, okay? You do not live in fear of some powerless pussy. Like I said, you only have power if you let them have power, in a sense. And I do believe in that. I do like to dribble a little bit of scripture in here as a Bible baddie. I've got another Dear Sarah, but I just don't have fear. Like, no fear on this podcast. Like, don't live in fear of that. Like I said, and also, if people want to try and evil eye your shit, they can do that about anything. So you're just going to live in crippling fear forever. The other thing, Dear Sarah, this is again similar. You guys are crippled with anxiety. Dear Sarah, I feel like people keep walking all over me. Hear me out. I'm hearing everyone out. I feel like I'm very confident, but I have quite a quiet and controlled persona. Okay? And I've been in my self-improvement era. A lot of people in my life seem to see this as a weakness and have their way with me. Have their way with you, sweetie. You've worded that crazy. Again, just brilliant point. I saw my friend actually sent me a TikTok that was similar to this, but I wanted to touch on it again. Just because I'm in my self-improvement era and just because I'm protecting my peace and because I'm doing better, do not think that do not think that all of a sudden I'm not going to get it popping if it needs to. A lot of people will mistake your whimsy for flimsy. They'll mistake your weakness. Do not mistake my whimsy for weakness, okay? Do not. Just because I'm protecting my peace doesn't mean you can now take the piss. You'll get knocked the fuck out if your mouth's writing checks that your ass can't cash. And I know that's not a godly mindset, but it's not godly to press me, bitch. No. I'm not saying just if someone's horrible, you then become horrible. Don't let people change your character, but also don't rise to their level, but also don't stoop to poop. Don't let people walk all over you just because, people will, especially when you're in your self-improvement era, and if you're now practicing maturity, a lot of people will think, she's not going to fly off the handle, so we'll poke the bear. Don't poke the bear, bitch. Like I said, I'd rather people, you trust me, if you're in the woods with me and the bear, you'd wish for the grizzly bear, bitch. It will not be pleasant. But yeah, just because I'm like now peaceful and practicing maturity, don't just think, she won't do anything. She will, bitch. Kill Bill. Kill Bill's a good movie. By the way, speaking of good movies, oh my goodness. So was something with, just before I'm going to get into the aging stuff, by the way, guys. But on this podcast, I've been doing a question of the week, and I have been gagged and dragged, and I have to share with you. I have to take my glove off. That's how serious this is. Some of the stuff that you guys have been just giving to me. So I asked people questions that I think are the most whimsical kind of like insights on who they are as a person, because I think these things say so much, but also not only do they say so much about you as a person, and I love when I hear other people's of that, it's also selfishly I get loads of recommendations, and then I thought, oh my god, when you guys read the comments, you're going to get loads of recommendations of how to, you know, jack up your levels of just whimsy and everything. So I've been asking those questions. The first question I think was music. One sec, I'm tangled up. The first question was about music. What's your music taste? And I wanted people to drop their favorite songs and the meaning behind it. And I was gagged. Last week, I said, I think your favorite film says a lot about you. What's your favorite film? Because I wanted recommendations. You guys wanted recommendations. And also it's insight. I had people, I've written down a few. Someone said Point Break with Patrick Swayze, bitch. Someone said In the Mood for Love. I spoke to my friend and my friend was like, who said that? Because their whimsy level, he was like, that's an insane suggestion. Someone said Dog Day Afternoon with young Al Pacino. Sorry, not to objectify. Obviously, fantastic actor. What the hell? But yes, ma'am. And I was gagged, and then I was reading the comments and all you guys were giving insightful reasons, and I thought, this is the place I want to be. So make sure in the comments you're looking to, because people will give you things. So today I was like, how can I top this question? Like, I've been asking such good questions. And every single one of you, by the way, I want you to answer this question, because the reason is, when you answer this question, you get to like feel a certain way. I want my gloves back, bitch, but you know I can pick things up with my feet. The fuck? Sorry if you're scared. Like I said, this is normal and you will get used to it, but it just is a lot the first time you come across me. I think you think that I'm like, you know, in need of some sort of psychiatric intervention. I'm not. I'm actually very stable at the minute. So the question that I had for you, which was my favorite question, and I'm going to start with mine. I want to ask everyone about something that makes them feel that, and it can be niche, it can be small, and I'm going to give you mine. Your most sexy, divine, feminine, but also just that makes you feel good. Maybe not feminine. Maybe feminine is not what you want to embody, but I mean something, an action, a whimsy action that makes you feel really sexy, really good, and other people can do this and try this and maybe find theirs. I'm going to give you my example so you kind of know what lines, but with my answers there's no right or wrong, but I want you to think, and it could be something big or small. For me, it's something that I've touched on before, but I call it a whimsy bath. Just hear me out. I love a bath. Love nothing more than a bath. But recently, with my new vibe of like not scrolling, I realised I'd sit on the bath and just doom scroll. And I would just be like a little fiend just scrolling in a bath. And I was like, hang on, no, like a bath is like a sexy, like it's a sensual, not in like a sexy like experience, but like it's sensual. It's for the senses. It's a hot bath. I'm soaking. I feel like it's a thing. I'm soaking out the badness. So I was like, I really want to immerse myself. So what I do is this. I dim the lights. I crack out my candles. I do all the candles so it's really dim, that it's dark in the bathroom. Okay. I bring my speaker in. Phone's not allowed. Phone's out. In fact, I even connect it to my laptop because I don't want my phone anywhere. I don't want my phone contaminating the bathroom. No one can reach me during this, and there's power in that. There's power in no one being allowed to reach me, right? So, do I look like P. Diddy with the glove? Or is it giving, because it's not meant to give creep. It's meant to give like, oh, like whimsy. But is it giving like Charlie Chaplin? I don't know. Dimmed lights. An Earl Grey tea. Okay? All my favourite bath products. Music-wise, I'm putting on a compilation of all my favourite guitar solos of all time. I'm talking Dire Straits, I'm talking Pink Floyd. And then I'm going to go in for a bit of Eric Clapton, Clapham Cheeks, you know exactly who it is. I'm going to go for all the best guitar solos, you know, those orgasmic guitar solos. And I'm going to bask in this whimsy. Those baths have been life-changing for me. I'm not even, I feel like I'm going to sound, if I sound like I've lost the plot, but that's just something for me. Something that I want you guys to try is a sensual bath, a bath for the senses. No phone, phoneless bath. You will feel, if it's the first time you do it, you will feel like, oh gosh, I need to reach for the scroll because it's that I don't know what to do with myself. Bask in it. That's what I want to try. That's mine. I want to ask you now, can you please, everyone, give me something that makes you feel alive? Something that makes you feel whimsical, something that makes you feel sexy. It can be an action, it can be a step, it can be something that you've watched. I want you to free think with this, but it needs to be something that makes you feel sexy, something that makes you feel a little, yes. But I want niche ideas. I want something that you've done where you've thought, yes, maybe a class that you've attended, maybe a hobby. But I want you to get whimsical. And if you can, I want you to write a little bit about how it makes you feel. I know I'm going crazy. But that leads me nicely quickly as well. Literally my next point here is the aging stuff, by the way. I don't want to sound like I'm prattling on, but another little thing. I spoke to you about how much I love the artist's way and the whimsy journaling. I know I keep going on like a broken record about whimsy. It's just the word of the week. Just let it cook. But I recently have been... The journaling thing has been life-changing for me in ways that I never thought. I never thought journaling, the way that a lot of people think it is, could bring this stuff out of me. Yet it surprises me every time. And I actually put together some whimsy journal prompts, but I have to quickly touch on, really quickly, what I've got going on. Some new updates. For people who are new, you're going to want to hear this, and then people who are OGs as well. I wanted to create like a culty little, not in a weird cult way, but in a good way, community of people who... We're all kind of like on this journey of just really having this glow up in a sense of spiritual, mental, physical. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record to the OG people, but just I wanted to create a community where we can all do it together and dig deep together and be it all together and share it all together. And like I said, I'm doing something at the minute called the 75 Sexy, which is my version of the 75 Hard Challenge, where I've written my own rules that I think align with especially us women a lot more, and the gays, of course, period, and the men who want to. But what I'm saying is the 75 Hard Challenge is very much like alpha protein shake. I just had so many ideas. So the best way for me to put all of this and give all of this to you and have all of you in one place was to set up my Patreon. My Patreon has been going now for a good couple months. The best place on earth. And I want to say this because today's episode that I've dropped on Patreon, I'm going to put it here, is my 101 to actual journaling. Okay, it's a workshop. On Patreon, I drop more workshops. It's different. It's completely different to the public episodes. The public episodes are never going to change. But there's group chats. Also, I'm guiding you through the 75 Sexy together. So you guys are doing this 75 Hard with me, with trackers. I've put links to trackers up there. We do check-ins. I'm also doing lives. This is just, like I said, I'm just going to touch on what's on the Patreon so you guys can get over there and get all of that, as well as obviously the public episodes. As, like I said, ding, 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 broken record alert, but for newbies, how I started kind of like on social media period was I'm a qualified personal trainer and life coach. So I was doing live, I started in lockdown doing these like live fitness classes and like live, like almost like therapy sessions where I bring us all together. And they were such fun, like just explosions of whimsy, dare I say. So I was like, I'm going to bring this back in the 75 Sexy and do these on Patreon for you all. Patreon's just the best place to be because it's all in one place. It's like an app where you've got folders. You'll go on there now and you'll see folders of everything organized. You'll see group chats, all the group chats for dedicated different things. You'll see links to lives that you can join. And if you can't join the lives, then I've saved loads. I saved a load of workshops so that you can catch up. There's also the niche extra episodes on Patreon called Aftercare. So there's a section on Patreon called Aftercare, which is kind of like, my idea for that was something where it's aftercare for after the main episodes, so you get a little bit more, where I go into a bit more depth. There's an episode on my relationship with faith, there's an episode on like sex and intimacy. There's so much on there. So all I can say is get yourself on the Patreon. If you're confused about what Patreon is, there's no catch. Like you can sign up for a month and then cancel if it's not for you. I don't mind, because I don't want there to be a pressure on people to like do but genuinely it is my favorite place on earth. And it will be yours as well, and the girls. And also my kind of vision was it for you all to make friends as well. So that's why we've got group chats for that. And we've got kind of like a little feature that we'll be doing tonight, by the way, for all of you who are on there. Tonight we're doing the weekly roundup, which is our big roundup that we prepare for all week, where you guys store up all these answers to these questions and we share them in the group chat so that everyone can get different bits. And obviously if you're just going to join the Patreon now, you've not missed anything, because you can go and it's a back catalogue of lore. All I can say is the Patreon is linked in the description of wherever you're listening and watching. Go and subscribe now if it's the last thing that you do, because I think if you love the vibes here, you're going to love that even more. And it's the price of a latte. You just need to be on there. And I want you guys connecting with everyone on there, and you'll see, you'll get a little welcome message when you join, and you'll see I kind of like that'll explain things much better than I can. So that is linked in the description of wherever you're listening and watching. I would go now and then enjoy the rest of the app. I want to just speak a little bit about the origin of worry. There's a book that I've been reading called The Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. Now, this is a Christian book, because, Bible Betty. But I wanted to read this. I wrote it down. But when I read it, I was like, oh, the bitches need to hear this. The lovely ladies need to hear this. He was talking about worry, right? And like what worry is. And there was a description of worry in this book. And it was by someone else. I'll have to get their name. But it said, worry, to torment oneself with disturbing thoughts. I said, what do you mean by that? I read it again. Worry, to torment oneself with disturbing thoughts. And that description, it rocked my world. You know you did, and everything I want to give. You see what I'm saying? It's describing worry as not something, is something that we're doing to ourselves, not something that's happening to us, right? Not all the time. Obviously, sometimes there is a direct threat there, but it wasn't like worry that only comes about when there's a direct threat that you should actually be scared of. No, worry to torment yourself with disturbing thoughts. A lot of the time, you're torturing yourself. I said this in the last episode, actually, so it all comes back to me. I was gagged. I said, what? And I thought, this is what we're doing about aging. I don't know a single person that's not had a negative thought surrounding aging. If there's someone out there that does, by the way, clock it. And also, by the way, what I love about my audience is I really like that I've got a wide age range. And I say all the time, it upsets me so much when I get 35-year-old, even people in their 40s being like, I'm one of the old ones here. Don't speak about yourself like that on my shit. I know society wants you to speak like that, but just hear me out. So that kind of just gagged me, that to torment oneself with disturbing thoughts. And I think, just reaching back to what I said before, with what I said, you cannot change your age. You can't stop getting older. So for you to continue to worry yourself and torment yourself with this fact, not only are you torturing yourself, but also you can't do anything about it. So whatever you could do in your power to stop it, you can't. So why are you torturing yourself? Also, I've been dying to drop a little bit of scripture into this, but I haven't wanted to be insufferable. I do understand not everyone believes in the Lord Jesus Christ, so I didn't want to just, be pewing out scripture at random, but I found a scripture, bitch. So like I said, listen, in Matthew 6:27, and I'm not being a goofball, that is the scripture, check it, clock it for me, someone. And who of you by worrying and being anxious can add 1 unit of measure to his stature or to the span of his life? Would you like me to translate in the Baddie Bible translation? Cool. Can any one of you add another year to your life or another success to your CV? Or can any one of you remove a wrinkle or crinkle from your Botox craving face by worrying? You can't. Worrying does nothing. Scratch that. Worrying does the one thing that you want to stop, which is waste your life and ruin it. Okay? Worrying, there's never been a positive outcome of worry. Sometimes, sure, you should, there's a direct threat. I don't know, there's a dog chasing you. Yeah, normal to be a bit worried, but I'm telling you right now, worry has never done anything good. So that fact alone, should just have that running in the back of your mind. Okay, when you catch yourself in those negative thoughts, oh, I'm getting old, oh, this. When you're in your negative, thoughts, don't just keep stopping yourself and be like, oh, what am I doing? Completely nothing. If anything, just ruining my life here. And it kind of gags you. A lot of my kind of content I've been saying, look at me I'm trying to scroll on my laptop, by the way. That's why I'm cutting off my circulation right now. But a lot of my stuff, okay. Oh yeah, and this is what I wrote down as well. Make the commitment. This is a commitment now. Me, you, everyone here right now, I want you to make a commitment with me right now that you are going to love this part of you. You're getting older. Whatever age you are right now, you are getting older. You can never stop aging. I want you to shift your mindset now and turn this into a beautiful thing. You have no option to love and accept this because, like I said before, you cannot change it. With a lot of things that you don't like, cool, you don't like your boobs. You've done all the inner work and you've decided, you know what? No, I've done inner work and it's actually not, I've made peace with the fact that, yeah, it's not just because I'm seeing a lot of big titty bitches around me. This is just me. I don't like my boobs. And you've done the inner work and you've addressed the fact that you just addressed that, oh, are you sure it's not some other insecurity inside of you manifesting in that way? And you've done the work and you turn around and said, Sarah, no, you know what? I've done a lot of self-work and I still want a boob job. I'm not going to turn around and tell you not to do it. That's a change that you can make. With getting older, you can't ever make a change like that. So you have to love and accept this. There's no other option for you. Also, don't subscribe to the old notion. You are not old. Stop the tomfoolery. I've got mates who are 26, 27 talking about, how do you feel about getting old? I don't feel anything. I'm a young hoe, personally. You keep you up with this aged mindset that you are just wrinkling yourself up with. But keep it over there. Pooh-wee, I'm not doing it. Oh, I've literally, like I said, if you want, if you age yourself if you want. Oh, sorry, I'm getting smile lines, I'm crow's feet and Botox, and then I'm getting old, and I just don't think we can go. I literally have a friend who is 27, right? Just turned 27, and she said to me, she was like, I just crave the days when we were 21 and we were going out. Bitch, get your boots on. It wasn't even that long ago. You know? What are you talking about? And then you're aging yourself with this mindset. You're aging yourself just constantly, I just don't think I could do that anymore. I'm old. I'm not subscribing to this mindset, and you're not going to fill me head with it either, so keep it over there. Like I said, I'll be clocking my mates. And yes, I'm not going to sit here and pretend there's not a body clock. Women do have a body clock. But like I said, there's a lot of clocks. There's a hairline clock for some people, you know what I mean? There's a grandfather clock, Big Ben. Clocks are ticking. I'm not going to live confined, scared of a clock either, by the way. That is a thing. I'm not just completely skating over that, but I'm not doing this horrible, like, I just can't anymore because I'm old. And then you're still, and also, it'd be one thing for a 50-year-old to turn around and say, like, listen, I feel like I'm getting a bit old now, even though, by the way, I'm not going to sit here and say 50 is old either, because, well, when I say old, like, I just want us to change the narrative, like, old for what? Like, you can't go out and have fun now? That's what I'm trying to change. But I'm saying the problem is people doing this way too young as well. And like I said, if you're coming around me with that horrible mindset, oh, I'm just too old now to do that, and you're like 27, go to the care home then, or better still, the morgue, because you're wasting your living years worrying about something that you cannot stop. Please go away. It's actually so annoying. And I've been clocking my friends. And this is another thing, right? Switch up your language, the way you speak about yourself, and start clocking your friends. Start clocking your friends' tea, by the way, because by the way, you become like the people that you spend the most time around, and you spend a lot of time around your friends. And if your friends are using negative language all the time about things, it's going to contaminate your brain space. So I love to clock my friends' tea, and you can be loving. And by the way, if you can't hold your friends accountable and be like, yeah, no, I don't like when you speak like that, that's not a good friend. That's not someone you should have around. You should be able to clock people around you. Switch up your language. Friends talking, oh, well, we're just getting old and we can't. You're not going to speak like that around me, because I'm not thinking like that. And you can have your little negative. You can go to the like I said, the nursing home and talk with them about that. But I just not around me. In fact, no, don't bother them with that either. They've got enough on the plate, or lack thereof. Because switch up the way you speak to yourself as well. I'm getting old to do that. I'm getting too old to do that. No, you're not. This is society's mindset that has infiltrated your space. Like, sorry to sound like, I'm like, like Jay Shetty in this bitch, but I didn't like that I just said infiltrated. I sound like one of the skits I've been doing. Guys, by the way, I mean, most of you probably have come from there, but make sure you got me on my Insta and TikTok. I'm doing like skits at the minute. I'm having so much fun. So just randomly, make sure you're over there. Switch up your language, clock people. I really, this is just completely random, but I decided to not drink for 30 days and 30 nights just as a random discipline, right? I've not got an alcohol problem. I just wanted to not drink for 30 days and 30 nights. Because I told you guys on the Patreon, I don't want to say too much because I did an episode on Patreon about this. But I said I'm currently doing this crazy discipline for 30 days and 30 nights, 27 days actually, where I'm actually on a big purge. I feel like because it was a Patreon episode, I don't want to spill, but yeah. And one of the things was not drinking. And I realized how toxic people can be when you tell them that you're giving something up. I was out on the night and I said to my friend, I'm not drinking tonight. And no, I wasn't with my close friends, because my close friends, I've got good close friends, they wouldn't do this, but I was with this like group of girls and I said, I'm not drinking tonight. And immediately, why? Oh, go on, just one word, hurt one. Like little garden gnomes trying to like get me to do something. And I've not got an alcohol problem, but I was thinking, gosh, if I was a recovering alcoholic, this would be horrific. So people need to really watch that. Like, especially with even like people with vegetarians. I was speaking to my friend who's a vegetarian. He's like, yeah, when I cut out like meat, there was people just like throwing sausages in his face. Now there's a night. No, but it's very weird how people get when you're practicing some sort of discipline for whatever reason. I don't care if you think that giving up drinking is boring or something, or if you don't want to do it, but it's very weird how people get when you're giving something up, because you will get people being like, oh, go on, just be fun, like you're a little evil temptress, like Jesus in the desert when he's, what? Why? And I realize it's insecurities. It is insecurity. And someone's going to be like, it's not that deep. Boo-hoo, bitch. Down below sea level we go. I don't care. Everything's deep on this podcast, like I say all the time. People will, they don't like the fact that you're doing something like a discipline, and they might not have that discipline in them. So they would rather just bring you into the whole, because really, if you were secure in yourself, you'd be fine having a drink and your friend not. Oh, no, but we both have to be drinking. We both have to be drinking. It's so annoying. And I've like I said, this is the first time I've just decided to do 30 days not having a drink. I'm just randomly doing like a dry summer. I just feel dry up in all areas at the minute. So I thought, dry everywhere. Let's dry the drink as well. No, but I just thought dry up. Like, I don't want to do it. So, and then it's weird. Like, I literally have people in my ear being like, go on. Who are you? Are you the devil from the Garden of Eden? Prompting me to bite the apple? Am I Eve? Do I look like an Eve to you, bitch? My name's Sarah, the fuck? So yeah, that was really weird. And like I said, also as well, a really weird thing that happened to me, I have to mention just really quickly. When it was my first night out since I got diagnosed with celiac disease, we were in a takeaway, we were absolutely sloshed. The chicken tender was just looking succulent and juicy, and I had my very good mate with me who was like, absolutely not, we're going to go and find something. And there was this other girl, and like I said, what the hell you say? She was in my ear going, oh, go on, it's just a goose and it wouldn't do anything. I thought, good, like I said, who sent you? What are you doing? Are you trying to gluten spike me? What's the thought process? Why do you want me to ruin my life? No weapon formed against me will prosper. I started rebuking her with the scripture. No, I was just like, what the hell? What's with people's obsession with trying to do that? So be careful of that. Sorry, that was off topic, but be careful of those people. Because when you are on your road to self-improvement, if you are around any insecure noonahs, your improvement does directly threaten them. I know that's not what you're trying to do, but they will feel threatened by something like that. Stay strong, get your boundaries in place, and if it does cause an argument, like I said, don't be fearful of causing arguments. This is my new thing. Fill the room with rage every once or twice just to remind people that it does get like that. I need to tag that TikTok. That girl made a TikTok. I shared it. It's so good. I can't take credit for that. But if people around you are speaking that way, oh, you're getting old, you shouldn't be doing that. Start clocking them. Listen, speak about that in your little mother's meeting of oldies. But I'm not subscribing to that. I don't care how old you are. You're not going to subscribe to that notion of speaking yourself about that. Another thing, remind yourself that you do have time. Don't waste it, but don't rush, okay? Let me just pose a thing to you. Let's say you're 35. You're feeling like you're feeling, society's got you feeling like you're really old and out of time, and you are thinking about the body clock. Like I said, the body clock is a thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's not. So yes, you would be thinking about that kind of thing at that age, right? And understandably. But you thought, oh gosh, like, I've got no time. But then you see this thing that you'd quite like to do. Maybe there's like a fun retreat in Bali. Actually, no, that sounds insufferable. A retreat somewhere. Or something, a little month, you get an opportunity to do a month of just like finding your whimsy, aligning your chakras, whatever the hell you say, self-improvement. You see something that's going to be a self-improvement month and you're like, I actually could do that right now. I'd love that. But I don't have time because I need to, the body clock, and I need to get married and I need to do this. So I don't have time. So taking a month out of my schedule right now, that's a month wasted. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. Because this thing might like seem like something you could do, but then you're like, oh, it's not like a work, like grinding thing, or it's not like a finding love thing, so it's going to waste my time. So you say no to that, you poo-poo that. So you think, well, this month I'm instead going to really just knuckle into finding date. I'm going to download all dating apps. I'm going to find a date because I need to hurry this thing up. The month, or however long period of time, the year, is going to pass anyway, however you spend it, okay? You think a better use of your time is rushing around trying to force something else. You could find it, but because you were rushing, you find the wrong thing, which then sets you even further back than you ever would have been if you went on your little whimsy retreat, because you've now got baggage from the wrong person. You've all entangled with the wrong person. He's knocked your confidence, so you're now back on a track of self-insecurity spiral. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you're living in this fear of, oh, I can't do that because that's a waste of time, the time is going to pass anyway, so get out of that notion. Also, this is a bit of food for thought. I'm going to say this to all young girls. Stop treating older women like they're OAPs. I'm going to break down what I mean. The minute my frontal lobe developed and I started spending time with my mum, the reason I started being this little bitch to my mum when I was like a teenager, and we're literally best friends, you realize that is just a girl, that is just you in a slightly older body. That is not some old. I feel like when we're younger, when we're teens, we view people in their 40s and 50s or whatever as some sort of like decrepit corpse, a different breed. We're like, that's an old person. I swear to God, the minute you hit, like I said, now, you realize that is a young hoe. Sorry, that is just another girl who has the same desire and need for romance, and she wants to feel sexy and she wants to have fun. They're from a different time, so there's going to be differences, but that is not some sort of different person. That is not some sort of OAP different person. That is you. That is still someone who has hopes and dreams. That is still someone that is a girl at the end of the day. And to treat them like they're some sort of old, like, that's just an old woman, I think is so aged. And also as well, you're missing out on some insane connections and some insane moments. Speaking to some of my mum and her friends is some of the funniest things. They're the most fun people. Yes, they're going to find different things funny. The sense of humor is different and we can make all the jokes we want. But that is just girls from a different era. Simple as that. And they still want to feel hot and sexy. Yes, their ideas of it might be different. They might turn their nose up at your booty shorts because that's from it. They're not used to that. And they might have their own ideas about that. But that is still someone who wants to be loved and they wants to feel sexy and fun, and they're not some sort of different creature is what I'm trying to say. So and I feel like having that belief is scary because you are going to be that age one day. What makes you think you're not gonna? Okay, you're not a unicorn, so you're not. So you better start treating those people nicely. And also just for for you as well, like it's been so fun for me to nurture relationships with older people in my life. I don't even like to say it, you see, and have fun with them. And to think that you're better than someone because you're younger is so embarrassing, because you're going to hit that age one day and then I don't want to say this because it's not very godly, but I hope someone treats you like that. I don't actually, because that's horrible, but come on. And there's nothing I love more than just having a lovely little shimmy with me and my mum's mates, like when we're like, who are like in their 50s, they're girlies, and some of them be eating me up. Tell you what, I was at a party and Batty, I think she was about to be 60. Her shit was moving more than mine. She was throwing her shit in a circle. Mine was in a rectangle, oblong, robotic. I said, listen, there's stuff to learn. Just have a little whims. And another thing as well, speak to the people who you view, like the older people in your life. There's so much magic. Old music is the best. Can I talk about that for a second as well? I know I love to speak about music on this podcast because music is just life-changing, but old music, we're never going to, I don't believe, not to be negative, but I don't believe we're ever going to get an era of music as anywhere even close to the era that our mamas and grannies had it. So I will be quizzing her till the day I die on that bitch. Like I went to see the Michael Jackson film with my mum, and it was so special because we were watching it, and obviously they showed a performance at Wembley when he did Wembley, and my mum was at that concert when she was 19, 20, and she was like, oh, I think she saw the date, and her eyes lit up, and she was like, I was there. I don't know why I just said that, but it was really special. But like, speak to them, and you'll realize that we are just all humans in this, going through it, and you've got to change your mindset. But what I love is, this is just so completely random, but I just remembered that I feel like the reason I want to say it is because I feel like I'm going to find someone who levels with me on this. But I was at this screening party and I'd had a few drinks, and me and this girl, we were having a moment. We were talking about my music taste, and she was really commending my music taste. She was like, you are versatile, because I was talking about how it goes from AC/DC to Tortured Poets Department in one skip, and then we're going Fleetwood Mac, and then we're going to Stevie Nicks solo stuff, then we'll go to Noel Gallagher, then we'll do and then we'll do this, and then we'll do that, and then we were just bouncing vibes. And she was really, and then I was like the Smiths, and then I was testing the water, and I was like, and then it might go to Limp Bizkit, and she was like, she was taking it all well, because I thought that's a bit of a curveball. I was testing the water, saying Limp Bizkit, and then I was like, maybe a bit of Whitesnake. I love a Whitesnake. Stop. So I felt like I was in a safe space to, really keep going with this. So I said to her, and you know what? When I'm in the mood for it, I like to put a bit of Nickelback on. A dark vibe ascended on the conversation, and she literally looked horrified, and she went, oh, that's too far. The minute I said Nickelback, I thought, there's nothing safe about this space. I thought, you bitch, you've ruined it. We were having a moment, we were having a really close moment, and you were loving my versatility. And the minute I said that, occasionally, once in a blue moon in the gym, I shuffle a bit of Nickelback, greatest hits. And what? So I'd like to say right now, does anyone, Olive Branch, Nickelback? Please don't tell me they're MAGA or something, because then I'll have to ask them from my playlist. Occasionally, a little bit of Nickelback slaps like a hand to the ass. And you know what? I thought she was like, no, that's too far. And I thought, geez, please, you just stench the vibe out. I would like to just test the waters. If this is a safe space, does anyone occasionally just like pop on Nickelback? Or is this too far? Whatever. Anyway, back to my whimsy. Yeah. How are you speaking in your day-to-day? How are you thinking in your day-to-day? Do you need to clock your own tea about these matters? Like, do you need to have a moment and be like, no, I am aging myself. I am putting limits on myself. Also, rooting back to what I spoke about in the last episode. If you have a hope and a dream that you haven't done and you feel like you're past it, you'll feel like you're too old for it, I want you to make this commitment to yourself now. No, you're going to do it. I don't care how old you are going to do it. Stop aging yourself. Stop being fearful of something that is happening to every single one of us. Couple things. One, every Sunday the public episodes drop and I've got a whimsical wild one for next week, so you better be subscribed on everything. Second of all, tonight, the weekly roundup over on Patreon, and of course the brand new episode of Aftercare on Patreon. Basically, if you're loving me vibes, you will love the Patreon even more, and I've never been more serious about something. I know it's annoying sometimes when people prattle on about stuff like that, but the reason I'm prattling on is because it's bloody good. So get yourself on the Patreon, link in the description of wherever you're listening and watching. Make sure you've got me on all my other socials because I'm going absolutely whimsy crazy at the minute. I love you so, so much, more than I could explain. And of course, I'll see you in the next episode. Public episode. Over and out. Love ya.